Puch fans, we're back with another video. But first of all, have you seen the last video of last week? Because that is pretty important. We talked about the tolerance on our clutch bell. Well, I'm not going to talk about it now because you need to watch the last video. Very important. This week we are going to talk about clutches. Well, and how to adjust them and what is important when you build it into your engine. Well, let's go. What we got here is a brand new engine, so I can show you very nicely because nothing is dirty, everything is clean, and what an original clutch is and when to put a new one in your engine. Well, mostly when you have built a new engine, when you do a rebuild of your engine, I must say, and you have the clutch bell right, the last thing we build into our engine is mostly the clutch or the ignition. Well, mostly I do the clutch first and then the ignition, but it is very important to look at your original clutch and if you can use it for your purpose. Well, this is of course a brand new one because the engine is new. You can see by the look of the covers on the clutch. Well, on the clutch shoes, I must say. The problem is your clutch can still look very okay, very good, but if you put on a 70cc cylinder, for instance, or a 74cc or a fast setup, then it could be that your original clutch, which has ran for over 30 or 40 or 20 years with the original setup, it goes to pieces when you put a fast cylinder or a 70cc cylinder on it. Well, this one is of course very good. When they are worn, you can see that the covers are worn down or they are very bad around the edges. That's what you mostly see, the wear on the edges, and then your clutch can go into the bin. Well, of course, we have a lot of clutches in our shop. Maybe you have seen them. I have taken 4 out of our shop today. I got them here, and the most used clutch is for the standard setup. So you have like this, a 50cc standard cylinder, 12mm carburetor, original exhaust. So for the original boys, this clutch is a very fine clutch. It's I guess the most cheap one in our shop. It's a clutch which you can use up to 50cc original cylinders. Otherwise, they will wear pretty fast, and we have other clutches for that use. For instance, our little Aramid clutch or claw clutch or an upgrade clutch, and that's why I took this one with me, because this is a kickstart engine and this is a push start engine clutch. Well, of course, here's the friction material. That friction material is just for the push start engines. This one sells a lot because it is, well, the price is okay and you get a lot of tension springs with it. Why these tension springs? Well, I'm going to explain now. The clutch setting depends on a lot of things, like weight of the driver, which cylinder do you have, how is your torque, even the carburetor which supports the torque, the exhaust. Do you live in a mountain area? Because I don't want to say that everybody who is fat can't drive up the hill, but the clutch can help you very much. Only thing is you need to know which clutch to use, which tension springs you need, and how to set it. Well, how to set it is a difficult story, because like I said, all these factors that I've just mentioned have influence on the performance of your engine. And I'm gonna explain a few of them because it's not easy to adjust your clutch. The problem is, it depends on so much factors that, well, I'm gonna explain a few. First of all, what we're gonna do with a new clutch. Most of you know, we have to drain it in ATF oil. The brand doesn't matter. It must be ATF oil in the clutch room within the engine ding, the ATF. 24 hours, soak it in. because you're gonna need it for the first start. Yeah, but I'm gonna put oil in it. Yeah, I know. But for the first start, everything needs to be soaked, so it can, also the axis here, the springs, everything needs to be soaked in oil. I'm sorry for my English, so now and then it's not that very good, you know. After you've done that, well, I always recommend the setting, for instance, for the basic clutch, do it like Puch did it. And always when you pull out a new clutch, especially like I did today, you can see that Puch put the screws evenly with the clutch shoes. So the screws even with the shoes. I'm going to do the same thing here and put it right up where the shoes are, and everything must be done in 3. It's not 1, no, you have 3 shoes, clutch shoes, which you need to adjust. How can I check if the screws are set correctly? Well, I always do it with a very large screwdriver, and it's a feeling you have when you do this. That's why a long and big screwdriver is important. First one, second one, ooh, pretty even. And now the third one, that's a little bit, but I can see it. It's a little bit tighter than the other two. So, quarter, let's feel, to compare us again. Well, that one is correct, this one is correct, and this one is correct. Of course, our manufacturers of, for instance, the Aramid or the Claw, do this on a machine. I've even heard that there are a few people who have a washing machine engine, and somehow with a, how do you say, a pistol, with the stroboscope pistol, they can check it. I don't know, I always do it like this. Works fine for me. If you have some other tips for our viewers, please mention them in the comments so we can learn from you too. Well, clutch is set correctly now, but as you see, here are pretty thin springs in it, but the shoes are from aluminium. Originally they are steel. Lighter means more slip. So maybe you don't need to turn them in to get more slip, because that is what you want if you have a pretty decent setup. For instance, 50 cubic inches, well, about 10,000 RPM, and it runs about 60 kilometers an hour. You may have less torque, but you need a little slip. Well, these ones, pretty thin, you can put in. The blue ones we sell a lot, so you can change them pretty easy. I'll show you now. And these have more tension, more slip. More turning in of this screw, more slip. But you maybe don't need any slip. It depends on all these factors I've mentioned. And like I said, it's just a matter of, how do the English say, trial and error. Ooh, we don't have that pretty fancy words in the Netherlands for trial and error. So, well, now I can turn the screw in. So the new spring is in, and just like I said, just like Puch did, I'm gonna screw it until it's even with the shoe. And now you can see that there is a lot of tension here and less there. And well, we are gonna test it. Of course, this one was okay, but this is a lot more tension. A lot more tension means more slip. Well, of course, more slip and you drive away faster, or not. This one, the Aramid, as you can see, has a different friction material on it. This is quite a modern, and I think these two, also the Claw, they are both very good. but like I guess you can better try this for a 70cc or a very fast 50cc setup, because this has a little more slip. But also here, whoop, adjustable with these screws, like the original. Only thing is, with this tension springs in it, and there are, with the Aramid, there are evenly some heavier springs with it, so you can adjust it even more, but this especially is more for a race setup, I guess, because it brings too much slip. Your engine, more slip means more heat and more wear, of course. Well, so you have to find the middle way, is that correct English? So, also this one, soak it, build it in the engine, and then just trial and error. Just put it in your engine, drive, too much slip, well, take it out, again, unloose the screws a little bit, and you can unloose them for one turnaround out, or you can make more slip with one turnaround in. Not anymore, because then there will be too much tension on the springs, and the springs will wear down and do nothing anymore. Well, whew, are you still with me? Yeah? So I'm going, I guess I'm going to put one in the engine now. Why? Well, what I want to show you, these clutches here all have these reinforcement rings on it. Well, the reinforcement rings, why are they there? Yeah, Chris, tell me why they're there. Well, they are there to prevent the shoes from bending outwards. If you have a setup, for instance 70cc with the Lotto, so you have truly some power from 9 up to 12 PS, horsepower, I must say, HP, then they tend, when the forces are too big, they tend to bend inwards. Therefore is the reinforcement ring built in. Only downside is that this reinforcement ring is a little bit higher. So it could be, we have here a standard clutch bell. It could be that the reinforcement ring strikes against the backside of the clutch bell. Well, we're gonna try it now, so I can show you if it strikes the clutch bell, what we need to do. So, put the clutch in. Well, that wasn't too bad. And you can see, by turning the flywheel, that it is still free. If I turn the front sprocket, it is still free. That's what we want. But after mounting the tension plate of this kickstart engine, which I will do now, it could be that it runs against the backside of our clutch bell. Oh. Correct one? Yeah, correct one. So, easy, because there is a piston stopper in the cylinder, of course, and we don't want to damage it. Well, the torque on this one should be 28 Newton meters. I'm going, just for the video, to put it like I always did. So, well, what could be the problem now? The problem could be, like I said, that the reinforcement plate is touching the clutch bell. And, of course, it's never good at once. Well, what we need to do, we are going to put it out again and adjust our shims. And that's why we have this in the shop. All kind of shims, so that we can make it work. Well, let's go. Be careful, because the piston stopper is still in the engine. Turn it loose, and then I can show you our little handy clutch pulley clutch puller. Clutch puller. Of course. We say pulley trekker in the Netherlands. So, simply put it into the screw holes. So, turn it in a little bit. Maybe we can speed this a little bit up, because this is all boring. And I guess most of you guys have done this. Hoppakee. Well, put the waterpomptang on. I don't know what it's called in English. Pliers. We say water pump pliers. Damn it. You're doing it wrong, Chris. You're doing it wrong. What? Zo. Put some tension on it. Oh. Now we need our water pump pliers. And okay. Well, that was quite easy. It's not always that easy, because if we do this with an old crankcase, crankshaft, I must say, then it could be a little bit tighter. But this is the ideal tool for this purpose. Well, what is wrong? We need to adjust the shims so that the clutch bell goes a little bit more to the back. So this one runs free at the front side. It's not that difficult. Let's take out. And it's also, again, trial and error. And guess I have to take a new one. Okay, take out this one and put away the shim. We have the thick one underneath, and we have to take a thinner one underneath so that the clutch bell goes to the back side. Well, I take this one. It's 1.5 millimeter. The standard one is a little bit thicker, but what we put away on the back side, we have to put it at the front side. It's not that difficult. Let's see, where's the standard one? Standard one. Yes. Okay, and I'm gonna put, well, 0.2 millimeters at the front. Pliers again. And so let's put on the new. Whoa, that's tight. Normally it functions. So, click. Click is good. Take the clutch again. It's the boring part, boys. The boring part. The pressure plate. Put it back on. Now, let's see if this is all correct. Yes, this is correct. Always the little problem with the kickstart engines is that this ring. So, I guess it's okay now. I have a little bit of experience. Watch out again for the piston, stopper, adjust it, 28 Newton, but for the video I will. Let's see. Oh my goodness, it runs free. Free Willy. You see? It's a little bit difficult to see on the video, I guess, but the clutch bell runs freely now. And if I turn this one, the clutch will turn and the clutch bell is still. So, well, that was quite easy, wasn't it? Whoa, and I've been here days adjusting those things for race engines when it needs to be 150% perfect, of course. Well, are there any questions? Put them in the comments, please. I can imagine that after this explanation there will be some questions. Well, not a problem, but I've tried to do my best to explain it to you all. So, questions, put them in the comments. Or write an email at info@puchshop.de. Or, yeah, and oh guys, we need subscribers. So, if you would please subscribe and push the bell icon here above, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much.